I did the Dogfish Head and Boston Beer Co. merger. The reason I picked this particular merging was because I found it particularly interesting that when the news was announced of the merger, that Boston Beer Co. would actually acquire Dogfish Head Beer. The reaction to it was very, very mixed, and it was also more negative. And a lot of people were concerned that this would actually ruin the Dogfish Head brand. And likewise and similarly, Boston Beer Co. fans, Sam Adams drinkers or lager drinkers were also worried that bringing on Dogfish would confuse their brand and maybe mess things up for them as well. So I felt like this particular merging really needed a social plan. So the problem and the key reasons, which I've already kind of stated, are that the initial announcement was poorly executed. It was done as a blog post from both the founder of Dogfish Head Beer, Sam Calagione, and then also Jim Koch, who is the founder of Sam Adams Brewing. The wrong message was sent when this was announced. So the wording of the announcement made it seem as if both companies weren't doing well, especially for Dogfish Head Brewing. And then there was also no clear direction. So the announcement was made, and then there was no plan that was offered to consumers. So it was just kind of like, hey, we're merging, we're being acquired. A lot of people are doing it these days, so we're going to do it too. And that just didn't really sit well with consumers. And then here you'll see a quote from the announcement. So it actually says, in the past few years, there has been an intense amount of consolidation among many craft breweries in the U.S. More than a dozen of our peers have sold to international conglomerates. Others have come together through platforms, bringing a handful of craft breweries together in roll-ups. While neither of those strategies appealed to us, we did realize that Dogfish Head would be a stronger company with the support of our friends at Boston Beer Co. and vice versa. And that was the statement in the blog post from Sam Calagione. And really, this did not sound good. This didn't sound positive, and it kind of sounded like their hand was being forced. So the actual plan that I propose and I'm rolling out is going to it's going to happen over the course of 10 weeks. And the timeline is for week 1, we're going to reintroduce the merger. I feel like this is very important because the way that it was initially done really shocked everybody. And now that the dust has had time to settle, re-announcing the merger and then setting the intent behind it and making it more of a positive experience for people would be very beneficial to everyone involved. Week 2, they're going to highlight their previously done collaboration. I feel like this is also important and it was totally missed, but Sam Adams and Dogfish Head actually brewed a beer together in the past. And I feel like if consumers from both aspects, both Dogfish Head brand loyalists and Sam Adams brand loyalists knew that and were reminded of that collaboration would kind of prove that, okay, there's a positive existing history here, and it gives us hope for the future. Week 3, they're going to launch a new URL website for a contest, and they're also on that website, they'll implement their community guidelines. So in the grand scheme of this plan, this contest will be to name the new beer, and actually in real life currently Sam and Jim are working on creating a new IPA. The only twist that I've added for this project would be to allow the consumers to actually name this beer. So week 3 through 9 through the end of this project would be to launch Twitter campaigns. So social is obviously very important, as we know, and these social plans would be really crucial into just helping people get acquainted. So you would have I am proposing 2 different segments. One would be an Ask Anything to Sam or Jim. So each brand is going to keep their own social media. As suggested to me, it was a very great idea. And Dogfish Head consumers can ask anything to Sam, and he'll respond to the top question, and vice versa for Jim. And then also the other Twitter campaign would be a fact of the week about the other brewery. So on Dogfish Head Social, maybe they do a fact about Sam Adams each week, just to get people familiar with that brand and show the similarities between the two. Week 4 is kind of an internal initiative, and it's something that a lot of companies I've worked for do, and I feel it's very successful. And it would be to conduct an internal town hall for employees. What's great about this is that it would be live streamed on an internal workplace Facebook. And Workplace is a really good tool that a lot of companies use, and you can live stream things. And as the live stream is happening, employees can actually comment on it, and then Jim and Sam would be able to read those questions and address any concerns that anyone's having. And really just making sure that everyone internally is on the same page is going to help for a clear, consistent message across all brands. Week 5, they're going to start collaboration with an influencer. I chose Julie Roser. She is a beer influencer, and she really hits the mark for both Dogfish and Sam Adams, and she's also previously worked with both, and I feel like she would be a great person. She's very outdoorsy, she's very animal friendly, and she's just very small town, and that's kind of what both of these brands stand for. Week 6, we're going to just assemble our team and make sure that everybody is prepared and everyone's ready to go. Week 7 and 8, we're going to coordinate for the press event and just the welcome party event where the winner of the Name Our New Beer would be announced. So making sure that the local press that both brands have worked with are prepared and ready to go for all of this. It'll also be good because the more media coverage that we have and the more coverage that comes from this, it not only will help with sales and social and just positive sentiment, but it'll also just help with getting the word out and having people associate these two together rather than separate. Week 9 is going to be, the welcome event, where Jim and Sam will start in Boston at the Sam Adams Brewing headquarters, and then they will actually move down the coast, and then on Sunday they would have the same event, but in Delaware at the Dogfish Head Brewery. And this kind of gives people a chance, if they want to travel from Boston to Delaware, or Delaware to Boston, they can kind of integrate all as beer drinking fans, and I think the outcome would be really great. And not only that, you're announcing a winner of a big contest, so it's really exciting and people are really ready to, go and involve themselves and just be in really good spirits. And then finally, week 10, we would evaluate obviously how everything went. So again, just social plan, we're going to highlight existing history. They're going to create social media campaigns, and then we're going to have a contest to tie it all together. Influencers, again, we're going to have Julie because she is established. She has really good reach, and we feel like she would be good on both platforms for both brands. And finally, she's very established. She has 37,000 followers. And again, the welcome party is just going to be a great way to kind of end all of this social strategy that we're doing, tracking sentiment, making sure that we're reaching, checking our click-through rate, etc. And then, like I said, lastly, we're just going to make sure that we measure and monitor all of the success. So in the beginning of this plan, we'll actually track everything. We'll see what our sentiment on different social apps is. We will see how many followers we have. We'll take a look at sales. We'll make sure that we're looking at all these different things, comments, likes, posts, retweets, pins, all of these different metrics that we can look at. And then at the end, we'll compare it and see how successful we were. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.